Welcome back to episode 3 of me documenting my entire trading month of November. During episode 1, I showed you how I was able to take a $5,000 account all the way up to $18,000 in just 4 trading days. However, in episode 2, I was also able to show you what happens to all small account challenges out there at some point, where I went on a massive tilt and lost all of my profits, initial deposits, and an additional $9,000, leaving me down $14,000 month to date on my options trading account. Now, at this point, I had no idea what I wanted to do next. I was confident that a small account challenge had completely messed with my head. And as a full-time trader who needs to make money from the market, I decided that I needed to trade like I normally would. This is the point in time where our project shifts away from documenting a $5,000 account challenge and shifts into me simply showing you every single trade that I took during the month of November. Now, throughout the course of this video, you're going to hear me mention safe account, aggressive account, personal account. In reality, this is just how I segmented these accounts in my head to help myself manage and mitigate my overall risk. Now, day 7 is the day we have the least footage from. The day after my massive tilt, I had no idea whether or not I wanted to be filmed or not. So we're going to show you the footage that I have, but afterwards, I'm going to take you through the broker statements and show you every single trade that I took that day and how I was able to recover just a little bit on my previous day's losses. Now, we know that the last episode was extremely short, so in this episode, we decided to make you all a movie. So sit back, get comfortable, put your feet up, and enjoy.
Relatively unheard of, 200% in 2 minutes. That shit was nuts, the kids might say. And I don't think this thing's gonna, I think the first target is 102.31. If we can just simply hold the structure we have in place, I really don't think there's any reason why we can't go trade that level.
All right, gang. So day 7, the day that I ultimately told Connor, sleep in. I do not want to be filmed. I just want to try and trade like I normally do without a camera on my shoulder, ended up being a little bit of a mixed day. So because we did not film all that much, let me take you through the TradeZella, and also what you are going to see pop up is the literal broker statements that I received from Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade, and it will of course align with what is shown on TradeZella. Let's dive into it. So first up here, we have the first account that you have seen me take from $5,000 all the way up to $18,000. And ultimately, the result of that account was minus that $18,000, right? So at this point in time, I had officially blown the $5,000 first attempt account that I had tried on this, and I was not feeling great about how that went in general, right? In addition to that, I had had a little bit more skin in the game with a secondary account here, again, which you will see the broker statements pop up. And that one, I started off with minus $6,000 on Thursday. On Friday, I was able to make literally $159 on it. I remember trading live on Instagram at some point later on that day. But this was not so fun, right? This was the $6,000 loss that I did not film, right? On Friday there, I was not able to capture much in this particular account, right? However, on Friday, the one saving grace that I had was a bigger winner on DDOG, right? Ticker symbol DDOG, which I was ultimately able to generate a 218% return on my $14,000 position size, which was able to carry the account up to about $10,000 of profit over the course of the first 2 weeks. Right now, again, I promise you, this is the part of the video where we have the least footage. This is the part where I told Connor, stay away. I just want to trade, right? I understand that it may be like, Jake, what the hell? This was the whole point, all this, blah, blah, blah. Again, as I mentioned, we had no idea what we were doing, right? I don't know what else I can do besides show you the broker statements and show you my TradeZella that aligns with it to back this up. However, what I can tell you is that going forward, we figured out brand new protocols for how we were going to do this. We started to take things seriously. We had a microphone recording things that I was saying throughout the day. We set up a desk for Connor behind my actual desk so he could literally be there on his computer at all points in times. So the quality from here on out is about to go up. But yeah, the reality is that I blew that first $5,000 account. So now that we have the account with $21,000 profit, what I'm going to do is reset that back down to like 6,000 bucks, something in that range. Again, closer towards that 5,000 mark, but I give myself a little buffer. So I'm gonna use maybe 1,000 bucks per position, try and look to keep it very slow, very calm. I have an entry in Meta that I really like where we're actually able to have a stop loss of about 15 cents. So it's a very tight stop loss. Even on 30 contracts here, that 15-cent stop loss is going to keep our risk really, really tight. So I like this chart setup a lot. We'll see if it gets continuation or if it fails. At the moment, we are approaching that $1,000 stop loss, down about $1,100 on this position. However, Meta has just swept underneath the overnight lows and is starting to rally a bit. So if that holds, I'm going to give this position a second. If it fails, I'm out quickly. We'll take the loss. And here is Meta approaching our fill. Boom, just got the fill. So down to 20 contracts left on Meta. The goal on this account was to be less aggressive. I wasn't trying to use the entire account as a position size. I was trying to keep the risk to about $1,000 per position max, right? Which is less aggressive than I've been on the other accounts. With this one, we just happened to find an entry on Meta where the stop loss was so tight that I was able to use a good position size. So we've taken off a good chunk of profit already, just under half the position. Now I'm going to be looking for trend continuation on this name and see if we can't capture closer to that 2R multiple, around a $2,000 profit. All right, so I did not have a ton of buying power left. However, I saw an opportunity in the QQQ to put on some small risk 0-day to expiration contracts and see if we can't capture an extra couple $100 on this potential move up in the QQQ, all while only risking like 40 or 50 bucks, right? So here's the position, just 3 contracts on this one. Let's see where this one can go. This meta trade continues to work for us. We are now at just about that 2R multiple that I was talking about. So we're up about $2,000 on this position. Initially, I was risking about $1,000 on this position. Yes, it did fluctuate a little bit. That's how options work. However, now I'm thinking that we can continue to hold this one for just a bit longer and try and capitalize closer towards that $2,500 mark.
And we got the fill.
I'm gonna close a few more meta here at 2.9, get myself down to my last 5 contracts. It's Monday. I'm not trying to be super aggressive. And honestly, we are now up 3R on our, yes, 3R on our initial risk. Meta was initially risking about $1,000. Currently on the day, just up over $3,000 on this particular trade. So I'm a very happy camper. 3R on the day is a really good place to start, and we'll see where we go from here. So I've gone down to my last 5 contracts here. My position is extremely small remaining. It should not be able to affect my PNL too much. To the downside, to the upside, hopefully we can capture just a little bit more out of this trade. So Meta is currently trading at an area where I think it might stall for a little bit, and the NQ is at the opening print. So we have 5 contracts left in here. What I think I'm going to do is trim 4 of them and just hold one to kind of curb my FOMO a little bit in case we continue to run higher. But at the moment, I'm a very happy camper with this trade. We're up 3R on the day. I want to lock that in. So let's go ahead and close position. Do -4, leave 1 contract left. And now, as you can see, we have locked in over $3,300 of profit on the day. I am super excited. I think that this will be a fun account to continue working with. So let's keep it rocking and rolling. The QQQ contracts we were in have made a nice 40% move, a very, very solid return on the trade setup that we were looking to take in there. However, the NQ just traded the opening print. I wasn't expecting the moon on this trade. The opening print was kind of what I was looking for. So I'm going to close 1 more contract, go down to just 1 runner. 2 contracts left in this account entirely, 1 meta, 1 QQQ. We'll see where we go from here.
All right, fuck it. I'm all out of this QQQ.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
All right, gang, down to the last contract on Meta. We just put in a pretty ugly bar at high of day. I don't really know how much we're going to capture out of this one last contract, so let's just close it up. This trade ended up going about 3.2 to 3.5 R, depending on where I got filled on my stop loss, had that hit. But up about $3,200 on the day on only $1,000 of risk, right? So this is the one that we had that crazy Friday on that just kind of gave us a big boost to profit. But on this account, I was actually only willing to risk about like $1,000 per position. I wasn't trying to do anything crazy, wasn't trying to be super aggressive, but the R multiple on this meta trade just worked out really, really nicely, and I was able to capitalize more than I was on the DDOG trade. Wait, Jake, what DDOG trade? Don't worry, I got you.
All right, so this DDOG trade I am watching, I like the early strength out of the gate, and then the pullback on the 2-minute chart offering like a 1, 2, 3 pattern. That's what I took my entry based off of, and I have my stop beneath the low of the day. It's an aggressive entry, but part of my thought process on the market as a whole today is that we can get a potentially like one more day of like a strong uptrend. And if that's the case, this DDOG daily chart looks so good for continuation. And I'm able to find an entry with a 25-cent stop loss around there. That's very reasonable to me on the contract size that I have. So let's see. I'm excited about the potential R multiple on this one for sure. All right, so this DDOG position in this aggressive $10,000 account is coming back towards our break-even mark. Honestly, I did not get a great entry point on this one, but I wanted the risk on this trade as I think the reward potential is crazy high. So at the moment, down about $500. Again, my stop loss on this trade is about $2,000, give or take a little bit. So ideally, if it really starts to work, I would love for us to make about $4,000 on this trade. So this DDOG trade is starting to work and get some stronger follow through. We are up about 1R at the moment on the position. So this is not amazing, right? Obviously I had higher expectations than a 1R trade, but I'm a little bit skeptical with the overall market. So pretty soon I'm gonna get ready to start taking off a little bit more risk in this position and just ensure that even on this aggressive account, we walk away today with a dub closer to the goal of getting this one back towards that break-even mark. I want that minus 4,500 year to date gone so I can completely forget about the fumble I had last week. Just trying to reduce a little bit of DDOG here. The market is still in a very strong intraday downtrend, so we have caught like the strongest names on the board. It's time to take a little bit more profit off the table. We happy campers. I sold a little bit more DDOG on this break here. Just another couple of contracts off. Really excited about the potential in this one. But we are up about 1.5R on that DDOG position. So I was originally risking about $2,000. We're up about $3,000. Not dream world ideal, but given current market conditions and emotional volatility, I'm gonna go ahead and continue to take off a little bit more of this position, just lock in a dub. So let's sell another 10 contracts here. And we're down from 40 to 30, bringing this account to up about $2,800 on the day so far. Let's see what we can get out of the rest. I actually want to trim 5 more just to be safe. I'd rather be safe. I'd rather about halfway to recovering the minus 4,500 that came from the TTWO poor trade of the century, where that 5,000 to 18,000 turned 18,000 into. My R multiple isn't a dream right now, but sometimes mental sanity takes precedent over R multiple, and we're still just approaching that 2R, so I'm happy. Now, initially I was risking about $2,000 on this trade, and at its peak, I was up around 3,500, which means I hadn't hit that 2R multiple that I was aiming for. Right? I still really, really like this chart and the opportunity for it to run several dollars higher. That being said, I think it's going to take another 30, 45 minutes, potentially a few hours for that to make that move. And I now know where I'm going to be trailing the remainder of this position. So given all that information, I kind of want to not watch. That way I'm not tempted to close early. I'm going to go right along the beach for a little bit. I'll be back in a little while and check on my positions. But for now, just gonna let this DDOG contract work and see if it continues in our favor or if it stops us out in profit.
They see me rolling, they hating, but trolling and trying to catch me riding dirty.
I just wanted to check in and show you a recap of where the accounts stood at the end of the day. So in this account, we ended the day about $2,100 in profit. That D-Dog position kind of just went sideways for the rest of the day, and I ultimately ended up getting out at about a 1R win. Based on the chart, if we could only get 1R, I wasn't going to be stoked, but I would live with it, and that's about what we got. So this account is now sitting at about minus $2,300 year to date. We are still going to be focused on getting that back green after the tilt that took us red. But that overall was a solid trading day on this one, and I think that we can get some continuation on our account and on our solid trading tomorrow. So as I mentioned earlier, I also decided that I needed to start trading more of what I would consider a personal or normal sized account for me. I'm a full-time day trader in the stock market, and I need to make money from the market. I had had huge success earlier in the month trading Forex, making a couple $100,000 in withdrawing it. However, I still wanted to capitalize on what I thought was going to be some very high quality potential moves in the market. So in addition to trading the safe, aggressive, these smaller accounts in which I'm showing you everything, I also decided to trade a little bit more size on what I would consider a personal account. Now, of course, you're going to see the broker statements and TradeZellas for everything, but given that at the end of day 8, between everything, I was up about $20,000. I decided to use that $20,000 of risk in this overnight position. So I took a big chunk of DDOG profit off the table. I've already realized about $5,000 of profit on that. So with this position that I'm swinging remaining, I do have about $20,000 of net liquidity that doesn't include my realized profit. So it could... I know, Connor's scared back there. All right, so with this monster move up from the NASDAQ, the NQ, everything after CPI, here's today's trading plan.
I don't know shit about fuck.
I don't know. I don't know shit about fuck. I have no idea what we're supposed to do. I literally have no idea. Like, what do we do?
Me and my money attached emotionally. I get the clutch, and if you get too close to me, I'm at the top where I'm supposed to be. Jumping in the gang, niggas act like they coaching me. 400 rats ain't shit, but a show to me. I'm on the road and I bet that you.
All right, so I've obviously loved this DDOG chart for a while. We've been stalking it. We've been paying attention to it. Early this morning, we got to pull back to a level we were watching at 105.13, and I decided to add some of the 110 strike calls in that aggressive account that we've been trading. Now, here's the position. Ultimately, I have 250 contracts at 0.42. My stop was around 0.3, which would have given me about $2,500 of risk on this trade. Again, this is the one we're trading very aggressively. I'm trying to get that back green year to date. So for now, this position is working very well, but we will see if we're able to get continuation in here or if this is just like a short bounce play. I'm trying to make 5K at least from this trade for it to have made sense from an R multiple perspective, however. This position is absolutely crushing at the moment, up about $7,000. I have no intentions of closing this yet just because of how good the chart looks. As long as we can hold above the opening print, this has the potential to run all the way up towards the 111 area, and I'd like to be holding most of my position for that. All right, so from up $8,000 at the highs, back down to plus 5,000. So I've already given back a chunk of profit by holding this. Now, this is something that you will see happen to me consistently. Because of the style that I trade, aiming to capture larger moves, what comes along with that is sometimes I will give back a significant chunk of open profits while trying to capture that large move. Definitely takes some getting used to this style, but I can assure you, I capture larger moves than most traders out there. Not gonna lie, the last several days in a row, I have allowed myself to give back a larger portion of my profit than I wanted to, trying to capture a big move. So today, I'm kind of a little bit more like, Jake, just press sell, get out. But there's this other part of me, like, the chart is saying hold. There's a potential for 111s today. Let that potential work. So I'm battling some demons right now. I will keep you posted, but I'm trying my best to hold true to my strategy and hold from one level to the next.
Right now, we're really focused on, can we get this aggressive account not only green year to date, which we're flirting with at the moment, but can we get it, you know, in solid profit? D-Dog is looking good here. Trying to get that push up would be really nice if we could. All right, we got the fill.
You know, we're right back at that first trim target, and I took off 50 of 250 contracts at that point in time. I wish I'd taken a little bit more off. So as we pushed here through those overnight highs, which was my main target, I am going to get ready to take off another 50 contracts. Hopefully right around the fill that I took earlier, maybe a bit higher. If I can get 10 cents higher, that would be great.
All right, we're going to save you guys some time. I took another DDOG trade on a separate account, but I just felt like I had too much risk on that name overall, so I instantly closed that position. With my remaining buying power, I took a trade on Roku that I didn't end up liking overall and also closed that one for a loss. You'll see it in just a minute.
So took one stab on DDOG that I took myself out of early because I didn't want the risk. Roku, I may have just taken myself out early again on that one, but you know, I didn't feel I was comfortable with some of the risk on that I thought I did. So for that account, flat. So still holding this DDOG position, the same amount of contracts that I had the last time we checked in. The stock just hasn't moved very much. It's been consolidating, but it's essentially been bull flagging, going sideways, and I am expecting a break higher. Although I won't lie, I'm staring at this every now and then, as much as I don't like to check the PNL, and I'm seeing how much I'm up, and that's a significant portion. It's really hard not to just press the sell button and take the profit, but I'm also staring at the chart thinking that would be a mistake, right? That chart has super valid reason to at least try and trade higher into the 108s area, and more likely potentially up into 111s. If that's the case, I don't want to be out of this position early. I want to let my trade idea work. So I'm battling back and forth a little bit here. I'm thinking that on the next break of that overnight high, I will continue my initial plan of taking more of my risk off. But I just wanted to break down some of the internal struggles I'm going through right now. And it definitely doesn't help being filmed on each part of this decision-making process, but we'll see where this one goes, and I'll keep you updated.
Don't forget, though, I still have that DDOG position from overnight, and we haven't even covered that yet.
Now, I don't want to sound like anything in trading is a certainty. However, this chart going sideways this long and holding the move up absolutely suggests that it will get followed through and another leg at some point to the upside, or at least try to spike higher and then ultimately fail. And there we are, taking out those overnight highs. Well, we haven't yet. We're so close. Come on, DDOG. You are 3 cents away. Take out those overnight highs. And then we can just gauge and go from there.
3 hours later.
Did it go?
No.
I moved it to try.
It did not fill.
There we go. All right.
Thank you, Jesus.
Good Lord.
All right, so finally got that trim order off at 0.99. Honestly, the last part of this trade hasn't really been worth it. This chart hasn't been moving very much, and it hasn't even been fluctuating a whole lot. But we are down to our final 100 contracts in here. I am super excited about this trade. We took about a $2,500 risk. Remember, the entry was 0.42. The initial stop was 0.32, right? Call it 0.30 at worst case. So risking about $2,500 to $3,000 and now up over $12,000 on this position. I feel really comfortable with where we're at. The profit and loss on the day is $12,000. My net liquidity is $9,300. So this could literally go to zero and I would still be up very nicely on the day. Now, I'm not gonna let that happen. I plan to close these before the end of the day. However, I just wanted to provide a nice little update. We are sitting very pretty. This account is plenty back year-to-date green. And I'm wondering, you know, I don't like monetary goals, but part of my thought process is, can we get this one back towards the like $13,000 it was up at its peak, right? Remember, at its peak on this account, I had taken it from 5,000 to 18,000, right? That would mean 13,000 year-to-date PNL. I'm hopeful that maybe we can get back towards that 13,000 year-to-date, kind of back towards the highs, and as if, you know, my fumble may not have occurred. So that being said, I'll keep you posted. But for now, we're just gonna hold these last 100 contracts and let's see where they go.
All right, I'm not entirely sure if I think I'm just gonna close the remainder of these 100 contracts slightly above 1.0. And I'm out. This is a pretty insane move that we were able to capture. I'm very happy with how we were able to kind of recover this account a little bit after the hiccup from last week. So I'm gonna lock those in and be happy with what I got. probably couldn't have exited at a worse time. We very quickly turned around on that bar and popped another 10 cents. So I did just leave about $1,300 on the table in a matter of 5 seconds.
Yeah, this will happen a lot as a trader. I imagine it happens to many of you on a daily basis, the way it happens to me. If this has ever happened to you and you're still watching at this part of the video, go comment a salute down in the chat. We're going to pick a few winners to come have some free time in our Discord.
Whatever, though. I'm a happy camper. The goal was to get this account back green for the year. It is back green. So that's really all that matters for me. It's now up $11,000 on the year. That's badass. Both of these accounts are very solid in the green and are both fully cashed right now. So while I may have left some money on the table, fuck it. I do not care. I have in this account, as you can see, about $1,300, $1,287 worth of buying power at the moment. And a couple of minutes ago, I found myself tempted to enter another trade. I know. I really don't want to do that. And so in order to not do that, here's a life hack, okay? The first thing you do is you just go to the SPY, right? And you go and you select a deep in the money option. Something like that, which happens to cost about $1,200. I have about $1,200 of buying power. Let's buy that, turn around, and literally immediately sell it. I lost $8 doing that. Now, losing a couple of bucks is far better to me than potentially putting that cash in like a 0-day to expiration trade or something where I could potentially overtrade and give back a significant amount of my profits. This is a life hack that I used so many times when I was trading cash accounts, and I haven't really been using it that much during this whole process. And this just got me thinking, I need to start using this again. I need to start doing this to protect myself. I need to start protecting my buying power. So I bought a SPY call, immediately sold it, lost a couple of bucks. But now that buying power is safe and it cannot be used again until tomorrow. I now have no available buying power whatsoever, which means that I am 1,000% done for the day.
All right, gang, just wanted to do a end of day check-in here. So on the account that we have scrawled back from the dead, it has been revived, officially green year to date, now up over $10,000 on the year. Closed today at about $13,400 of profit. Again, I did the little SPY hack at the end of the day that I showed you to remove that buying power. And then in the other account that I have been trading, end of the day, minus $616. Had I held on to the DDOG position, I definitely would have made a good chunk. I mean, probably 3R, what my risk was, which was small on this trade. The Roku position, I felt comfortable with where I cut it. So,
all right, the wait is over. This is how much I made on that DDOG swing position. Let's break it down. Okay, so let's run through this DDOG trade because the TradeZella will show a couple of different trades that I took on this particular contract, right? Now, as I initially opened this trade, there was a couple of things that I was looking at. I loved the potential on DDOG to run up into the 111 area. And if so, the 106 calls that were priced around 150 at the time would be worth at least 5.0, over a 200% potential return on these contracts, right? So initially on in the morning, I found myself in entry around the first 5 minutes or so of the day, as well as another little scale in before this trade went into a deep profit. And eventually it started to work very much in my favor, right? Now, intraday, I continued to reduce risk as the trade worked and as you've seen me do throughout these videos. But as we came into the end of the day, I ultimately decided to hold some of this position for a swing trade overnight. Right? I thought the potential for these contracts to run up into that $5 mark was extremely worth my risk, right? So at the end, overnight, I ended up holding 150 contracts, which equated to an initial capital risk of around $20,000, which was what I was up overall on the month at that point in time. Right? Now, as the next day occurs, we get a gap up, but the first thing that occurs is a very harsh pullback that would have been easy to trap you out of your position. It occurred very quickly, but knowing the system that I trade, we were able to hold through that pullback and capture a strong push up to the point where the contracts had gone over 100% in profit. Now, on this day, I did even add back during an intraday pullback and ended up scaling out my entirety of this position as we reached around 150% profit. right? That being said, I did leave a little bit of money on the table as my final exit was around 440 on the contracts, and they did end up running all the way up to 7.0 the next day. Although you can't always capture the whole move, I was definitely very happy to have captured the return that I did. Just let it be known that this adjusted cost of 53,000 is a little bit off because I took that first entry, held some overnight, and then added back into that position. So it's combining both of those two entries together.
With that being said, stay tuned for the updates. I'm super excited. I love you all. Have a great rest of the night. And oh my God, we have a special guest. We have a special guest who's in the building. He's literally in the building. Who do you think it is?
It's me, motherfuckers.
A man that needs no introduction, but I'm going to give you one anyways. This is Mr. Ron G. Trades, my top student of all time, who participated in our very first ever Mastermind 1.0 program, and then very quickly became a huge and integral part of our team in what we do here overall at RakeTrades. Ron's trading has now taken him to a full-time profession, and he was able to even have a $24,000 profit trading day earlier this year. Now, if you haven't watched our podcast yet, make sure to click right here and go watch that, as it's great. But Ron, super glad you're here, brother. Let's get to it.
So the same DJ that I had at a party a few weeks back. Just went on their first headline tour, and they are finally performing in Los Angeles this Thursday night. So, LIVESTREAM, we're extremely excited to see you. You know the boy Ron G had to come out. The man texted me the minute after the last party and was like, yo, I am booking my flight. I am coming right now in November. So we're super excited to see you guys tomorrow night and to throw down a little bit. All right, my friends, welcome back. Today is what? Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. I'm extremely excited because I am ready to take the first large withdrawal from these Thinkorswim accounts. So the first time that I took this from 5 to 18,000, I was debating a withdrawal, and ultimately I decided not to do it. And then I made some poor decisions. So today, when I thought like, okay, I might take a withdrawal, I was like, no, I'm for sure about to take a huge one because I'm not making those same mistakes again. So what I'm gonna do now is withdraw about half or a little bit more of my overall Thinkorswim account value. Normally, Thinkorswim is very good about internal transfers, and we were gonna be able to kind of reset the accounts where we wanted to from a balance perspective, but they're not going through very quickly this morning. So we may be stuck continuing to trade the same balances that you've seen us trade the last few days, right? This is the account that started it all, of course, is the one that we've been trading the whole time. Now up a little over $11,000 year to date, actually, sitting about 25K net liquidity. I'm getting the vibes that our internal transfers are not going to go through prior to market open. So it looks like one more day of continuing to trade these balances, which are not up. So this is the first account. And then the second attempt that we have here is sitting at about $9,000 of net liquidity with a year-to-date PNL of about $24,000. Again, this is the one where we had sort of had a good run and then transferred some cash out into the other one in an attempt to get it back green on the year, which we have now done.
Okay, I filled 100 of the 465s, which is a relatively... I should say, I'm going to keep a stop under 1.2.
Now, my withdrawal ended up not going through. However, it may have been a blessing in disguise. The Netflix chart that day was an absolute A+ setup and one of my favorite charts that I had seen in months. So while you are going to see me trade this on the smaller documented account, I also took some positions in here on the larger personal account, risking some capital that I had made from that DDOG overnight trade. So let me take you through the day trade that we had. And at the end of the day, let me show you the bigger trade in there as well.
We are now up 4R, about $8,000 on our $2,000 risk. So I'm going to go ahead and take off 25% of this position. And we got the fill, which was nice. That's a very nice trade to start the day. Yeah, that's crazy. This is a crazy move.
All right, so just took this secondary entry here besides Netflix. This is the other trade I'm taking on that original account today. So this one I've entered about 115. My stop loss is about 0.95. I'm seeing that the NQ and QQQ has an opportunity to dip beneath the low of day and potentially trade back up into the pre-market highs. So if this one goes wrong, about $2,000 of loss. I'll stay tuned and let you know.
3 cents under my planned stop. I know that this is gonna, I know I don't want to fight it though. I don't want to fight it. So I'll wait till this 2-minute close. Contract's trading at 0.94, right around the area we were thinking of stopping. My dad just texted me and he goes, market's got to pull back soon. That means the market has at least a few more days of rally. I love my dad, but he is, he's very often Ron G when it comes to anything market related. All right. I closed the QQQ. I took my out at all.
Yeah, I almost tilted this downstairs.
Did you? What would you?
So right before you long, I shorted that move for like 5 points
On
ES.
yes, okay.
And then I saw the same failure setting up that you saw with your first QQQ trade.
Yeah.
So I flipped long and they got rugged real quick and I was like, oh shit. And then shortly after we got out, I saw the failure, got back in and caught the move up.
Nice. Okay. Fuck yeah. I'm glad one of us caught that shit.
So
I did not.
ended green, but started out rough. I was like, damn.
That's fine as long as Netflix gets the PAMP.
Netflix gets the PAMP, we're good. If they don't get the PAMP, then we're pissed.
It's gonna be hard to get back to the highs. And on the 475 calls that we took, I added a few of those, right? So I don't need those to get back to the higher day at 116 to make it worthwhile for me.
I got a text message. This is a message from Donald Trump Jr. Quote, my dad stormed out of that courtroom.
That's it.
That's it.
But I still think it's worth probably taking a small trim here. Oh, my order hasn't built. There we go. I got the phone.
Up about $8,000 and I have 40 contracts left of the 465 calls and 11 of the 475 calls left. I'm gonna take at least like a 15-minute, 20-minute break, ride around on the scooter a little bit, maybe go smoke a joint, maybe say what up to Ron G, and I'll come back and I'll check on this position. All right, gang, we have largely closed out the trading day on this particular position. Locked in on this Netflix position, $13,000 in profit. Super excited about that. However, on the day, remember earlier I also had a $3,400 loss on QQQ, which leaves me at about a total of $10,000 in profit on the very original account. This is our first account that you and I started together. You watched me take it from 5 to 18 back to 0. We are now up year to date on this account $21,000. So I'm super excited about that. That's fire. That's great. And then on the second one that I've been trading is where I'm still holding just a little bit of Netflix. I have those 475 calls that I added. That's like a 7K position. Given how much I'm up overall on this, I'm debating holding this overnight. The market's hot, ride the hotness. So I don't know. I'm mentally kind of going through it a little bit. This Netflix hold has been really, it was a hard one. All day back and forth, all day back and forth.
Holding winning trades like this might seem easy, but the reality is holding through pullbacks is mentally exhausting. You watch your trades go from up 150% to plus 50% to minus 20%, and still the chart will be valid. That's the one tricky part about trading options and trying to capture those larger moves. So while it may seem easy, I promise you, I'm battling demons in some of these clips.
So it was stressful. So part of me is thinking like, I don't know, just take it really easy tomorrow. So yeah, so I'll keep you posted. For sure gonna get the fat withdrawal. So we have the one account completely closed at around $10,000 profit, as we showed you all earlier on today. Then I did take a loss in the other account on Netflix. I was originally thinking maybe to hold these overnight as a swing trade on Netflix, but ultimately ended up just against it, right? And again, you also have seen the year-to-date PNL on that one. But I have been trading a more normal size account for me on Thinkorswim as well. That's gotten some really nice trades out of it, right? I held a little bit of D-Dog overnight through CPI, and then today I traded Netflix, and boy, oh boy, was it the trade of the week for me. Now, after having captured an extremely large move on DDOG the previous day and having some profits to play with, when I was presented with an A+ setup on Netflix, I knew that I wanted to be ready to execute, and I knew that I was willing to put a little bit of risk on the table, right? So ultimately on this Netflix trade, the position sizing that I went with was an entry of 240 contracts at an average price of 195 cents per contract, right? I had my stop loss on this trade beneath this low here, which was a 20-cent stop loss. Although because it was at the open that I took this trade, I actually doubled that. I accounted for a potential 40-cent stop loss, 155 on these contracts, just in case the move occurred down quicker than I initially anticipated. So with this stop loss of 1.55, I was actually risking about $9,500 on this trade, meaning if it went wrong, I was prepared to lose about 10 grand of my previous day's profit. However, I was very fortunate that this trade ended up working out damn near perfectly to the upside, and I was able to hold these contracts all the way up, generating a net return of 148% on my position, which came to a R multiple of 7.31. This was definitely my favorite chart that I had seen all month, and I knew that when it came, I wanted to be ready to execute in a big way, and this allowed me to do so, making about 7x what I was risking on this initial trade.
That was a very nice day, and I'm a very happy camper, and this puts the monthly PNL on the combined Thinkorswim accounts at a very high number. So I'm a super happy camper, and we'll see where we go from there. But I definitely got the big move out of the market that I wanted the last few days, and I am definitely in capital protection mode tomorrow. So we'll see where we go.
Oh yeah,
I didn't agree to get this on camera.
it's definitely going on.
Ron mentioned to me that he's never gotten a spray tan and that he really wanted to do it. And so me, I've never even thought about doing that before.
Yo, huh?
I've never even.
My boy, I got text to prove it.
Never even. That wasn't this Photoshop. I've never done this before in my life. Yeah, that's what I call gang, baby. Oh shit, we're a couple minutes late. TOS already reset the PNL, so you can see what I traded today. That's not PNL day anymore. Regardless, the net liquidity is the exact same as we showed you all earlier, right? Between the total of everything that I've been trading. We'll show you the TradeZella that led to a total of 150K profit across the 3 Thinkorswim accounts. Tomorrow I'm going to withdraw like 140 of that. So the plan is, today I tried to withdraw, but I set the withdrawal in place at like 6 a.m. The market opens at 6:30. The cash are still in my account. They're still available to be used. We don't want that to happen tomorrow. So tomorrow we are waking up extremely early, strictly so that we can process the withdrawal early, so that all of those profits cannot be traded tomorrow. They will be 100% locked and safe. And this is how I will prevent myself from making any catastrophic mistakes like may have happened when I took the 5 to 18. All right, gang, so it turns out after 10:30 p.m. Pacific time, we can actually withdraw. So the net liquidating values on some of these accounts got messed up with the transfers we tried to do this morning, the withdrawal we tried to initiate that all got canceled because we didn't do it in time, right? But between the 2 accounts, we're up about $40,000, $44,000 in between all the accounts. We're up about $150,000. So what I'm going to do now is withdraw $132,000, the entire larger account that I traded the past week and a half or so. I'm just going to withdraw that entirely. That will leave me with about $40,000, $50,000 in there. And from there, I can start to scale down and protect my risk dramatically. So let's do this withdrawal. So with that, I have withdrawn a total of what, $132,000. All right, good morning, gang. So last night I took a giant withdrawal. That money is not in my account. I couldn't use it even if I wanted to, which leads us to the question, where are we gonna start this account with, right? What are we gonna do? The one that I've been trading the entire time, when I took from 5 to 18 to 0, now back up $21,000 year to date. I'm gonna keep about $21,000 in there. So even if this account goes to shit, it'll essentially be giving back the profit that I've made on it so far. Trying to keep the risk about $2,000 to $3,000 per position, but we'll see how everything kind of shakes out. So see how we do today. Filling money level bounce. Oh, I actually got filled on 2x what I wanted to on that. Oh shit, okay. Well. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit quicker to take some of these off because I wanted 100 contracts. I got filled on 200. Did not intend to do that, but this looks really good so far. I think we can try and hold this into 373s. We want to try and get 2x what we're risking at least before we take any of the position off. I mean, you do not need no man. We're officially up 2R. Come on, give me the 1.29. You know you want to give me, yes, let's go, baby. 2.5R before trimming. All right, Microsoft's getting that little bit break of high a day here. Again, initially the plan was 100 contracts, risk $2,000 on this trade setup. Accidentally got filled for 2x, right? So it turned into a $4,000 risk, up about 12 now, up about 3R. I'm happy. I'm gonna get ready to take a bit more off here and continue to let this one work. All right, I got that. I am now half out of this position overall. I started with 200, I'm down to 100, and we're up by 3 or 4R. I don't know, this is something fun. Microsoft, baby! I'm gonna sell a couple more. I have 100 contracts left, I'll sell 10 of them here. I'll leave 90 on the board. Normally I hold my positions a bit better than being half out so early, but we're up like 4R, baby. You know, like it's like, dog. Literally up 5R. I do indeed regret that. I think it's going to keep going higher. And there's literally zero reason to have closed it. But there's a big part of me that's just like, dude, like, take what you got. You know what I mean? Wow. That was crazy. I know, we're short the market. Please don't tell my father.
Guess who's long?
No shot.
Guess who's long? Jake have not traded on the same side this entire
Me and Ron been beefing. We've been beefing. All right, I don't love that 5-minute candle close. It wicked under previous bars low and now get back above. So we watch here.
I think I'm gonna dye my hair blonde tomorrow at 10 a.m. Give me 1 second on that.
I'm gonna dye my hair bleach blonde at like 10 a.m. I don't really want to do anything else today. I think we kind of friggin' nailed it, except obviously that QQQ exit wasn't like a dream. Let's do this. Let's hop right out of voice chat. Let's go straight into a Zoom call and talk about the trades today. So I'll send the Zoom link out as we speak. All right, I love you. Bye. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. Happy Thursday, the 11/16. Now, the reason that I took Microsoft today at the level, I literally bought when we were trading the level and it was a red candle, rather than waiting for us to get back above the opening print prior to buying, right, is that the past few days, the theme of what has been going on in some of these names, it's been moving quickly and level tests have been fast. So for reference, on Tuesday, D-Dog had a setup very similar, right? We had a strong gap over a level. Right before the market opened, we started to get a relatively aggressive pullback, which pushed us right into another level. So part of my thought process was, well, this has thematically been happening a little bit in the market lately, where things get kind of pushes into a level pre-market and then very quick tests of the level. So given that, I was like, all right, I'm down. And I took an entry as we were testing the level with the plan to add more once we broke over the opening print. However, once we got back over the opening print, we were already up like 1.5R and I got double fill. So I didn't add any more once we got over the opening print. That's not true. I actually did. I added another like 100 contracts and I sold them within like 5 seconds because I felt like I had too much risk on the table. So I entered them, then I immediately got rid of them because I was like, this is too much. This is too much risk, right? So I had the 200 contracts. We got back over the opening print. From there, I mean, I wish I had more to like break down on this trade, but the target for me, the first target, because Microsoft, I think it's at all-time highs, right? Yeah. So it's hard to like pick a target out when you're at all-time highs.
We had these 2 overnight high spikes though that had not traded yet. So that was my first target on there. And then from there, it was just kind of like let price action tell me. So we traded up into the 375 round number. And then as we just kind of got really extended and I closed it before this red bar was put in, but as we started to just get pretty much straight parabolic, I was like, all right, you know what? I just ran out of contracts at that point, right? And I could have held more for an extended move, but we didn't have any levels to target above. I got the area I wanted, which was that pre-market high, or that untested overnight high. I got that, right? So I was like, I'm a happy camper. That was a $16,000 position for me, and it yielded a profit of over $20,000, which is freaking nuts. That was a $4,000 stop loss. It yielded a profit for me of over $20,000, which means the realized gain on this trade was 5x what we were risking. I made $170 on the QQQ position. So that was cool, but I wish I had held it, obviously, because we ended up making a move.
Yeah, Kellen said we would bounce there. It's the double bottom. It's gonna hold.
And that also, at low of day here, would have been a 6R trade, which I didn't have a big size on this position, but it's kind of crazy. I just want you all to like conceptualize that for a minute. If we, in theory, held this trade the way that I wanted to, and I was literally, I typed in the chat, I was like, I want to hold this till low of day with no trims. If we had done that, as well as done Microsoft the exact same way, which was a 5R trade, there's the potential today that with 2 trades, we could have made 11x what you are risking. So if you would have risked 5% of your account today, you could have possibly made 50% of your account today. Trading is nuts. I don't want anyone to start getting these expectations that that's going to happen on a regular basis. These would have been 2 outlier trades, but think about that. 2.5% of your account risk on each trade, 5% overall on the day. You could have potentially made 50% of your account while managing risk very well. Perfect. So now we have another 14,000 withdrawal on the way. I am done trading for the week. We are going to our concert tonight. Our buddies over at LIVESTREAM are finishing up their first ever headline tour with some shows in LA, Santa Barbara. So they're finally in LA tonight. We got a big squad going with us. I am definitely not trading tomorrow. So I'm locked in and completely done for the week. And I could not be more excited. Gang!
Holy fucking smokes, I got my money up. Counting all these bands took me a while just to damn run it up. Multi-millions, I feel 100 up.
To be Fred again, so bad he bought a piano.
I'm a TV watcher. I binge TV shows, that's what I do. But the last 6 months, I've just been addicted to music. And I'm trying to find new hobbies. So I bought a piano. And it's not a cheap one. I bought a keyboard. I bought a nice one. And I'm super excited because I'm about to throw down on this shit. So let's get this open. Look at this ball! Ah, she's huge! That was pretty fire, honestly. I'm pretty excited about how that first session went.
It is weekend time. We went to our homies' shows over at LIVESTREAM and they absolutely crushed it. And I was able to meet up with a ton of mastermind students. Tried some very fancy tequila to decide which one was best. They all tasted the same.
All of the different flavors of Clase Azul. So we got all 3 different flavors. Just for price references, 170, 200, 350. Seems a little far-fetched considering that is literally just these 2 mixed, but nonetheless, we're gonna try each one. I'm gonna let you know which one my favorite is. I did not have a good experience with that one as I did with my previous experiences. Okay, upon resipping, I'm aligned. This is superior to that.
What's superior to what?
This originally, I'm not gonna lie, this is like our 3rd take, but don't tell the audience that I said that. This is like, I picked this one multiple times. I was Ranji. Okay, now let's basically see. I want to see if this one's better than that one. No,
I agree. This is the best one. Jesus, wow.
Ultimately, I would say that if you're buying a bottle of Class Hazel, I would probably go with this one. I would probably go with this one just because, like, if you're gonna spend the money, it's like $30 more. Like, if you're gonna spend $170 on a tequila bottle, you can probably afford to spend $200 on a tequila bottle. You know what I mean? Like, there's not, that barrier is not large.
Nonetheless, I'm really curious, above all else, the comments, please. Yay? Nay? I will trust in your opinions.
And then unfortunately, the gang went home and left me all alone by myself in this big old house, alone.
'Cause I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. My problems have all gone. There's no one to deride me.
It's Thanksgiving time. Callan is on his way back to Atlanta. I'm on my way back to the Bay Area. So we have no recording equipment to film over these next few days. So instead, I'm going to show you some brief iPhone clips of all of the trades that I took. However, the one thing I did refrain from doing was trading that initial account that we had been following from A to Z from the very beginning. Now, that being said, let's see the trades that I took over those few days, and then let's get back into the action.
All right, gang. Welcome back. As mentioned, Callan's not here. We're not filming today, but I wanted to give you an update on my trading day as a whole. Again, to show you all of the accounts live and in real time, so that everything, the math be math, and when I show it to you all at the end, right? So let's check in. So I traded on 2 accounts on Thinkorswim today. One of them I was able to lock in $18,888 of profit. And then on this one was able to lock in about $9,365 of profit. Again, on the primary Thinkorswim that I started this journey with on you, I did not trade that today. We're not trading this account until Callan is back and we can film. So at the moment, I have the couple of other Thinkorswim accounts. Again, I'm literally going to show you my year to date, like on everything, but keeping the one that we've been documenting safe. Nonetheless, it was a very good day, $28,000 total. I am going to withdraw that 1,000%. All of it and more probably is going into my bank account.
Holy fucking smokes, I got my money up. Counting all these bands took me a while just to damn run it up. Multi-millions, I feel 100 up.
All right, so definitely not my best day. I started the day with a decent chunk of profit, and I closed the day with not a decent chunk of profit. So I'm still up very nicely on these Thinkorswim accounts throughout the course of November, but I definitely don't want to let this like slip into something bigger than it needs to be. So let me show you the P&L. All right, so between my 2 accounts, I ended up minus 3,700 on the day, including fees. It's more like minus 4,200. You'll see the TradeZella, of course, but yeah, not my finest moment considering that both of these positions were profitable earlier on in the day. So, yeah. All right, gang, I forgot to record anything while I was trading today. I'm excited. Back on Monday, the next time I trade, we'll be with Callan again, recording it all. I'm going to restart. It's going to be exciting. I'm stoked for it. But I wanted to show you the trades that I took today. Lost about $7,000 on NVIDIA. Leaves me up about 15K-ish on the week on the Thinkorswim account. So I gave back like 11 grand over the last 2 days. Not happy about that. I wish I just hadn't traded when I was at home. That was kind of fucking stupid, but whatever. Here's the TOS. So you can see all accounts here. I took another couple of withdrawals, lost about $7,000 today. So of course you'll see the TradeZella, you'll see it all. But on Monday, I think I'm gonna start back with 10, so I'm excited. Maybe 11, I like the extra buffer. But tonight, time to go hang out with all the high school friends again. I got my friend Margot coming over, and then we're going to my friend Drew's house, and it's gonna be a good time. So hope you all have a safe night, a great Thanksgiving. Obviously, it's probably Christmas when you're watching this, but you know, benders are all the same. So I love you.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. You might have seen it in some small, brief clips before, but this is our first time actually filming with my blonde-ass hair. I know it looks crazy, but I actually kind of like it. So we'll see. Regardless, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Super excited. We have the last 4 days of November, the next like 6 or 7 trading days, we should be clean filming with no interruptions, no nothing. So I'm super excited. We are going to be back trading the original account that I've taken you through everything on A to Z. Now, last week we were Thanksgiving break, did not touch this account that we ultimately have taken from 5K to 18 back to 0 up to a $41,000 year-to-date PNL. So what we've decided to do is leave a total of $11,000 in there, right? So I wanted to start with like 10,000 bucks, but as I've been doing in this, I'd like to leave like a little buffer in there. I'm gonna trade aggressively with that 11,000. Even if that were to go bad, I'd still be up 30K on that account year-to-date within a month. So it's super exciting. I'm excited. I don't really love the market very much today. I think there's 2 trades, maybe Tesla short, maybe DDOG long, but we'll see. Otherwise, I'm not like in the mood to force it today. So nonetheless, we're gonna see what we can get with this 11,000. I'm probably gonna try and keep my max risk on the day at like 2,500, 3,000 bucks. And if I'm risking all of that, I would hope to be making like $4,000 or $5,000 at least to the upside. So we'll see, but it is Monday. Definitely wanna keep myself safe going into the end of November, and we'll go from there. All right, let's see what we can get. Yeah, okay. I took an entry here. Very, very small, but I like this open. So I have some of the 115 calls. Not very, I don't have very many of them, but I have some. I'm gonna set a DDOG trim. I'll set one at 154. That should, at highs of days, that should be good for us. Where's my mouse? I'm trimming as about 2.5 R if we can get this fill. I was risking about $1,000. I'm about 2,500. There it is. All right, nice work, gang. Good start to the day. I'll do this at 167 because we're up at like 3 or 4 R now. 3.5 R. All right, so I got that fill at 167 on DDOG. D-Dog pulled back and actually offered me another entry, but it would honestly be boring to just watch that chart and it just moved so slowly. So we're going to move on to the other trade that I took on QQQ, then come back and break down both of them for you. I'm getting ready. I might take a little bit more Qs here because the Qs target for me, I was just trying to scalp it. So the target's just the high of the day. I don't really have huge expectations over that. So I'm staying on my toes to get rid of more QQQ as well. I have 50 of those left. Next time I sell, I'll probably sell 25 and just leave 25 runners. I added a few of the Qs back here at 0.37 or 0.38. Just a couple of them. I feel good about where we're at overall. I've been trying not to PNL watch as much as I can. So we'll see if we can get back to high a day on this one. Then I really like this little addition. NQ/QQQ, if it can just get back to high a day / the level we have right here, 6068, which is half day. Not a huge fan of it, but it's there. Then our trim should fill at 0.95, and that would be a little bit. All right, gang. So just decided to close up all of my positions for now. It is 10:10 a.m. on November 27th. So in this account, which I was originally risking about, my first trade I was risking like $400. Then when I added into it, I was risking about $1,000.
closing up about $1,000. So honestly, not super happy with how I managed the DDOG trade today. I think I could have done that a lot differently, but it's not the end of the world. And then the QQQ one, again, you can see all the counts here, was able to kind of carry the day a little bit with $3,300. The nice part about that QQQ trade is that it was like a 4 or 5 hour trade. I was risking like $600 and I ended up over $3,000, which was great. And that position was only like a $4,500 position. So ultimately was able to capture some nice dubs today, up about $4,500 to start the week. No complaints from me, and I'm looking forward to getting back at it tomorrow. I think there's going to be some favorable action, so let's get at it.
Help! Lost and I can't get up. Help! I fall and I can't get up.
It's at Best Buy. This just happened.
Does this mean we're getting an 85-inch TV?
Where would we put it?
My room?
Well, what's the difference between this? I need a dude or a female.
I need an adult.
I need an adult. I need help. I need help. Mom, help! I think we're happy campers. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, what all did we just get?
Like 2 different Sonos speakers, 2 different subwoofers. What else did we get? Razor of the Dyson, the world-class air purifier. It's like the best air purifier you can buy, I guess. We got it. And then a second air purifier, just, as backup.
To compare.
I will run my own tests and let you all know. But it was a good haul. Definitely a good Cyber Monday / Black Friday. We got even more arriving at the house. So I think it's going to be a thick day.
Holy fucking smokes, I got my money up. Counting all these bands took me a while just to damn run it up. Multi-millions, I feel 100 up.
Daily chart.
On Tesla?
I hate where Tesla is opening, but I really like the daily chart. So I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I actually like it for both directions, though. That's kind of the even more unclearness part, which usually means I should stay away. All right, so AMD has a level at 123.48, right? Now, I personally think that today we can take out and kind of aggressively take out that 123.48, right? Much like Tesla, I think the best thing that we could hope for on an entry would be a spike beneath pre-market lows that then gets back above the opening print, and we could maybe use that as a very early entry up into 123.48, right? That being said, the best entry, quote unquote, best entry in here would come on a trend above 123.48. So if we can develop an uptrend above there, then I think we can start to buy pullbacks to that area, right? But that's what I'm keeping my eye on at the moment, right? Then always watching the Qs naturally. I think that I'm still kind of the mindset that the NQ is going to stay pretty much range bound for the rest of the week. I think this whole week remains a range-bound week. So I'm definitely keeping my position sizes smaller today. I'm happy that the account is withdrawn dramatically because I don't really feel tempted, like at all, to put on bigger position sizes. These charts just do not warrant big position sizes in any way, shape, or form. So for me, I'm just going to try and keep it chill. If I can make a few bucks here, make a few bucks there, I think I'm going to be a pretty happy camper. And with that, let's see what we can get today. All right, gang, welcome back. Today is what? November 28th. Welcome. It is 6:23 a.m. as we speak. Sitting here at the moment with the main primary account that we have been focusing on right here, up about $42,000 year to date, as you all have seen, literally every trade. So as I mentioned yesterday, we withdrew this account down to about $11,000, right? After the Thanksgiving break, I didn't trade this one at all. We weren't filming. I came back, we reset, right? And I started with about $11,000. 10 was the round number. I like a little buffer, give myself a little bit of room, right? So that account is sitting at about $12,000 at the moment, right? Now, throughout the course of this, I've also been touching this kind of secondary account. It's not much in here, but yesterday, I actually was able to make like $3 grand off this account, right? So what that does is leave 7 in there, right? My priority is trading the same account that we've been focusing on this entire time, right? And if I find the setup that I want today, I'm going to be using that account to do so. However, I'm not closed-minded to like
trading this. I'm not going to withdraw the cash now. Some of you might be thinking, Jake, why not just deposit that in and trade it all in one account? To be honest with you, I wish it would be easier for like from a story purpose, very much so, if I were to just do that. However, this whole goal of this is to show you what it's like to be a real professional full-time trader, right? Like someone who actually does this on a daily basis. And this is what I do. I separate money into different accounts because that way it doesn't help you. It helps you to prevent from over leveraging, right? So you're going to see every single detail of all of the accounts. But my goal of this was not to craft a story for you. My goal of this was to show you what a real trader who actually makes money does. And this is what I do.
So we can get an early morning shove down. Give me the shove. Give me the shove. Give me the shove. Okay, there's the shove down. And now I'm taking an early spike before we get back up. I hate TOS, man. I'm trying to get those fills a lot earlier. How many did I get? Alright, so my stop here is about 0.55 on these contracts, which is about $1,000. There it is, back over the opening print. That's exactly what we wanted. No trims for me yet on AMD. I'm getting close to that point as we're nearing plus 2R, but no trims yet. I'm still thinking that we can get this one all the way up into 123.48, potentially before even trimming anything. So I think we got like that entry, and now it's just a matter of holding it the right way if we can. I'm gonna try not to be greedy either, because I don't want the, but it's one of the mistakes I've made the last few days is having really good trades within the first 30 minutes and then letting them fade too much back, so I don't want to do that again. But I would at least like 3R or something like that. Cue a little opening print test here. Maybe a potential to find a little long entry if that's what we're feeling. QQQ, we can get a similar entry with about a 10-cent stop loss. This is the pivot to hold. There we go.
I was ultimately able to mitigate that AMD loss to around $800, and while holding that position, I was actually able to find a new QQQ trade that was able to help take me green on the day. Let me show you that trade.
This is my blues.
God, this looks terrible, It's just not desirable action at all. Yet here we find ourselves trying to trade it.
This is the blues I'm playing. Yes, it's a fine old thing. When the night is
Gotta get that time. Despite stress, which I know I incurred today for sure, came out of it green. You know what I mean? And that's really all we can ask for at the end of the day. So I still have a little bit of this QQQ remaining. Our entry was 0.63. It's at 0.83. So we have a nice bit of buffer or room down here. If you really want, just place stop loss at break even and just continue to hold the room. Right? So this was a pullback that, I don't want to say it was anticipated, but it was talked about word for word, right? So I will update you if I do anything else. Other than that, I hope you all have a great rest of the day. I love you very much. And gang, baby. Cheers. So selling a little bit more QQQ here. Happy that this one's going to act as our bigger winner of the day. Gang.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
That's what I call
gang activity. We happy.
Literally over $100 per contract.
being able to hold this position that well, I mean, through the drawdown is one thing. Anybody can hold a trade through drawdown if they just lie to themselves and keep holding a loser. But to then hold it as it makes its move up and actually capture this full move, that's a skill. What you can see is that we have a level to level move, but we also have one from opening print here up into the new level, but we also have one literally from an intraday pullback, making its own micro little level to level move. So we got some open air above us towards 16,100s. I kind of think this is where we stop for the day, but I don't know. We'll see. I might let it ride a little bit. Let's see. We'll see. Nonetheless, look at this shit. Look at this shit. That's what they call from level to level. When we release this thing, I don't know what time it'll be. It'll probably be Christmas by the time this episode comes out. Way past, I don't know, past Christmas. I don't know. Nonetheless, just know, if I'm still offering the masterminds, this is the only place I will ever teach you the level to level system. I don't advertise on this YouTube series, but I mean, from one level to the next. Take 5 off here as we're at level. That'll leave me with 25 runners overall. Alrighty, down to my last 10 contracts of QQQ. We're at the level, we look really strong. I honestly think we'll probably continue trending up towards yesterday's high, probably above, but we hit the level. I'm a happy camper. This was a stressful day, and I am above by a decent little margin, not much, but enough where I was down the most of the day, right? So at the absolute most today, my drawdown was around that minus 5,500, 6,000 mark. Now my PNL for the day is closer towards the above 7,000. So obviously that's not ideal, but considering the stress we had to go through in the market chop we were dealing with today, I'm pretty happy with where we were able to recover to. So ultimately going to take most of my QQ off here and just let the last 10 ride. Okay, wait, before you shut that down, I've changed my mind. I'm going to sell all 10. I'm just going to go out. I'm just happy.
You good?
Yeah, I'm really hot. This is TOS for November. Which is amazing, but I hate round numbers, and I hate being that close to a round number. The last thing I want to do is push the issue. But then again, it's only $1,300. It's such a reasonable goal for the next 2 days of trading. But I hate number goals. I hate numbers. I fucking hate numbers.
We're gonna lose 30 trying to get 1,300.
Literally.
Yeah, this ends up getting the best of me exactly like I thought it would. I can't tell you how many times when I was trading a smaller account, I would be up close to a round number near the end of the month. Try and get that round number and give it all back. Don't worry, this isn't some crazy cliffhanger, and I definitely didn't blow the account. However, I wanted to give you a little mini lesson here that never aim for round numbers. And if you even catch yourself thinking about it, take the end of the week or month off.
I think what this means though, I have to take another withdrawal. I think I gotta take another withdrawal. So we can't do this until tomorrow morning, obviously. The one that had $4,200 in it or something yesterday is now at 14,000. It's up 10 grand on the week. So
that's nuts.
Maybe we take 4 out of there and just keep 10. Maybe we take the initial 4 and just keep the 10 profit.
That works.
And then that would leave us with
2 evenly sized accounts.
2 evenly sized accounts and 20-ish K overall net liquidity. Which means that even if I fuck this up in the worst possible way, which is how real traders think, it'd be 178. That's my risk, right? And 178 for the month would be amazing. I think that's a good idea. We'll withdraw at least 3 or 4K tomorrow. And I'm excited about that.
It's a great plan.
It's a great plan.
So what's your little morning routine?
This is the lazy version of my morning routine. But the lazy version is I wake up 5:20, and I press my coffee machine and make coffee in bed. Then I get back in bed for a minute, and then my snooze goes off. Boom, pop. I go get the coffee. It's 5:25. I chug it, get back in bed for 5-10 minutes, then immediately
there you go.
Straight to the restroom. Straight to the restroom. And then second cup of coffee usually occurs
sometime at like 5:45.
Damn.
And that's when
back to back.
then I brush the teeth immediately after coffee. Always brush your teeth after coffee.
So just wanted to do a little end-of-day check-in, show you both of the 2 accounts that you have been following along with. So today was a pretty good day. Did take a loss on AMD, but was able to more than make up for it with a big winner on QQQ. QQQ didn't even have a big position size. It just happened to run really well, and we were able to hold it well. That being said, super happy with the week so far, up like 10,000 bucks. What was that? Almost 11,000 bucks on the week so far. So the goal tomorrow is to kind of continue the momentum. May take a small withdrawal or at least set some aside and make sure to keep it safe. But keep the momentum going and then hopefully kind of take the foot off the gas near the end of the week. I do think that we'll have some opportunities that will be favorable. Gang, welcome back. Wanted to do a check-in with you with both of the accounts we've been following along with. So the first one, following from A to Z, 518.0 all the way back, is at about $11,000 of net liquidity. So right where near we started for the week. Honestly, hasn't really made a ton of progress in that account. Small green, small red. It's been tricky, right? However, in the smaller one that you've also been following along with, we've now managed to get this one up to like 14,000. So this one's up like $10,000 on the week. So now I have a little bit more cushion in there, so to speak, to take some risks with, right? So I'm open-minded to taking a few trades today, but the market is gapped up massively, and that has massively brought down my interest level in trading today. So the goal today is going to be to keep things safe, keep things small, keep things light, and I don't think I'm going to be trading the first 5-10 minutes like I have been the past few weeks. I think I'm gonna let the market develop a little bit more. So that being said, let's dive into the charts and let me get you my pre-market plan. One of the watches on the day is AMD. We are gapping right up towards a level at 123.48. Now, if we can manage, preferably I'd like us to open above that level, but we're coming into the last 9 minutes before open. Not sure if we're gonna get that, right? So on the NQ, kind of what I'm thinking is that either we get a pullback down into that level or, right, some sort of failure underneath lows. And while I couldn't long NQ there, I could long an individual name. And my favorite individual name at the moment is Meta. If my Meta can spike under this level and then get bought up and back above, then I really like entries in here. And I would love to buy some sort of 2-minute high or low, but we'll see if we get that kind of opportunity or not. Regardless, that's my morning plan. And I think that Meta is my favorite at the moment. We'll kind of wait and see. All right, I'm going to try and fill a little bit of Meta. Opened above the level, weaker reaction than I would have wanted, but let's get back above the level and I feel good. This looks really good. I'm going to be risking about $6,000 on this position. When Meta broke under that previous 2-minute candle's low there, we should have continued going lower. That was a 2-minute potential lower high. Now we're setting a potential 2-minute higher low. So if we can continue this higher low and get back over the opening print, this chart looks really good. Obviously not the way that I wanted today to start, especially seeing how some other names in the market moved. That's really frustrating, but this was my favorite daily chart for a reason. I'm going to allow the plan to continue to play out. All right, gang. So obviously not some great news to report. This is probably the toughest day that I've had since Wednesday, November 8th, which was, the TTWO event, but ended up down $16,000 between these two trading accounts. So it was definitely like a tilt-like day. I put way too much risk onto one position. I actually saw several different names that I was watching work out later on in the day. I just had put all my risk on into Meta. I ignored my stop a little bit, right? This was a bad trade. There's no
no way around it. I just traded poorly on this one. I managed it poorly. I rushed my entry. This was a really high quality chart setup that I really expected to work. The failure was unexpected. So the chart gave me reason to put on this kind of, not this kind of risk, but high risk, which initially I had, but there's no management that should have allowed me to let it trail this far back. So the good, the bad, the ugly, you get to see it all. And today was a drawdown day for me. So I'm excited to get back at it tomorrow, and we'll see where we go. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It is the last day of the month, November 30th. So before I dive into my trading plan a little bit, I always want to let you know that on the last day of the trading month, your entire goal is not fuck it up. Don't do something stupid. Don't screw yourself up. Don't give back something stupid, right? Yesterday, I did some pretty dumb shit, and I brought my total TOS account value down to $9,000, losing $16,000 yesterday, putting me at minus $6,000 on the week. So what I'm gonna do is that because this is under $10,000, I'm gonna combine this into one account, the same account that you've been following this entire time. This is my absolute max risk for the rest of the month, and I doubt that I lose all day as my worst case scenario, but that's the max risk I am absolutely willing to take. Now, I normally on the last day of the month, on a day like this, I wouldn't even trade, to be completely honest with you. I would just avoid it so that I locked in my profit. But there is two very high quality potential setups in the market that I want to be able to potentially take advantage of if I need to, right? The first is my baby of babies, Snowflake, right? I only have $9,000 of buying power. I'd be willing to risk all $9,000 on this setup because I think it could potentially turn into $30,000 or $35,000. So this is going to be the setup I'm watching primarily today. These are our two levels, right? 186.62 is there, but really the key one is 120.98. A spike under these pre-market lows, right? And this 186.62 that gets back over the level and back over the opening print. Maybe a little test again there, but it doesn't have to happen at all, right? That comes up into the level, goes sideways for a little bit, and then eventually cracks the level and up into that 194 is what I'm looking for, right? That's first target. I think there's a chance this thing could head to 200 this week. So we'll see how it sets up. It's definitely my top watch of the morning, definitely what I'm most focused on, and we'll see how it goes. Now I gotta do a webinar with the team. I gotta do a webinar. I gotta go. 15.0 students, I love you. I know you're excited to be here. Please don't do anything stupid, right? We have every year, every class, there's always a couple of students who think they're special, and then they literally blow their accounts before the program even gets started. So please don't do that. Just don't, if you trade, which I would say don't, just trade really, really small. Like really small to the point where the dollars don't matter to you, right? That's first and foremost warning, Mastermind 13.0 students. Why do I say that? Because I want you to succeed, right? Now, let's talk about today's market action, right? Today, there is only really a few things that I am focused on. Even with a weak market, which is my really only concern about today, is the fact that the market might be real weak, right? Even with a weak market, Snow it looks that good and it has that potential. This is my top watch of the morning. I'm willing to put a little bit of risk on this. This one looks very good, right? But that being said, the last note that I would like to make is that it's the end of the month, gang. It is literally the last trading day of the month. Most of the time, people do dumb shit on the last day of the trading month. I have left in my Thinkorswim accounts, the one that I've been focusing on trading the past month, there's about $9,000 in there. If all shit hits the fan today and I lose anything, I'll be down about $9,000. That would suck. I would not be happy. However, that's like a very small percentage of my month overall. Wait for above 190.26. If we don't get above, no trade. But now that we've tried to go higher first without getting there, I don't know. This isn't the setup that I thought it was anymore. So I'm pretty happy to have been sitting on my hands right now.
My favorite part about this was our patience. We told ourselves no entries until spikes under that 186.62 level. We got that early morning move up. We got above 190.28, but we never got an entry signal or a potential higher low till long off of 190.28. So what do? We sit on our hands, we wait patiently, we get the pullback to under the level, right? And then we are able to find ourselves a lower risk entry that is literally already up about 75-80%. So that's what it feels when you follow your plan. It feels freaking good, right? Like it feels good. All right, I've been hyping this up. Let's get back over the level first before I keep talking shit. That way, you know, we can actually take some profit on this first. All trim on snow at 100% profit. All right, here's the level 15927 for QQQ. These contracts have a lot of calls have decayed a bit. So they're slightly under that planned stop loss right now. Just gonna give them this level reaction and see. Because I do think that there's a potential to take this trade from this 927 level all the way back up into 608875. Snow is pulling back in towards break even. It'd be time to flatten the snows. Let's get back over the level first before I keep talking shit. That way, you know, we can actually take some profit on this first.
Got him! Got him!
This is an unfortunate drawdown, but I do think that this is going to be potentially worth the hold here. Might have just had my sights set a little too high on this snow one. General thought process on why the market might hold from here, right, is that the Dow Jones and that RTY are very bullish at the moment. The RTY, you need to get back above the opening print, but they look good and they look like higher. And I'm thinking that they can drag the NQ looks like lower, right? Like from a chart perspective, but it's at a level, right? So if we're thinking the RTY and the YM can hold, then all of a sudden the NASDAQ's at a level also. It's like, okay, these are more things adding up for the potential for us to hold here. So what we need is kind of what's occurring right now. We needed a 2-minute candle to break under previous bar's low, then get back above. So if that can hold, then we have really nice potential, and we're just kind of gonna manage and see from here. Snow's holding the level here back over 184.6. Our contracts are back in profit. The QQQ 390 calls are down a wee bit here now, so kind of like a ping pong between our trades. One going into profit, one being in drawdown, one going into profit, one going into drawdown. So should be a pretty neutral day at the moment. Let's see. I would really prefer if the QQQ would not break previous bar's low here. I don't love that look. So let's stay on our toes. Alrighty, gang. I got my finger on these Q's. Those. No was a tricky trade in which we got 100% profit above that, and then let it trail back to about a 60% loss, which isn't, you know, fun. But for me, positives from today, I would say that position sizing was a good positive. Nothing was crazy. Everything felt like very controlled. And given what I was trying to make, right, on this overall type of day, which was like 20 grand plus, right? At least 20K plus is what I was aiming to make. I'm okay that I'm ending up with about a $6,000 loss, right? Somewhere in that kind of range is where I'll close the day. And you are the only people to know that, since I can't reveal much because of the YouTube project. That's not the end of the world to me. It's just the frustrating part is now I have back-to-back days of losses that I wish I didn't have. All right, gang, a bittersweet moment here. The bitter part is I took some L's today. I closed the day at minus $6,000 on the day. Another big losing day. So over the course of the last 2 days, I've lost like $22,000. Definitely tougher for me emotionally, not how I wanted to end the month in any way, shape, or form, right? We had some wins on Monday, some wins on Tuesday, but I will be closing this week red overall
on that Thinkorswim account's a little bit frustrating. However, that's the bitter part. Another part of the bitter part of what's happening right now is we are filming like one of our last scenes for the month of November's episodes, right? Like, this is crazy that right now we are filming scenes to release in episode 1, which you're gonna watch this Sunday, November. I don't know. You're gonna watch it soon, right? But it's crazy because we're kind of like going back in time a little bit. Like, we're filming stuff for episode 1 right now as we're finishing up wrapping the actual production of episode. I don't know. This is crazy. It's really cool to kind of look back in it. So when you see this all in our 3rd or 4th video, and you see this clip right now, it's going to be pretty cool to look back at episode 1 and be like, oh my gosh, I remember that was Jake filming his pop-in clips. That was the pop-in. So this has been a crazy journey. This was one of the most difficult things that I have ever done in my life, but able to close the month up over $175,000 on my Thinkorswim accounts. I feel extremely grateful. I feel extremely blessed that I have been able to do this, but I'm also really, really happy that I was able to take you with me along the journey. So we're going to dive into the broker statement. We're going to dive into the TradeZellas and show you exactly how I was able to make $175,000 this month. All right, gang, so let's take you through the TradeZella here as well as my Thinkorswim broker statements to show you the exact performance on all of these accounts throughout the course of November, right? So first, let's start with the account that you've been following since the beginning, the one that I took from $5,000 to $18,000 back down to 0. Right? I then had to redeposit and transfer in some profits from a different account. And then I was able to scale that one, scale, withdraw, scale, withdraw, scale, withdraw. And that account is up a total of $27,000 on the month, right? You'll see here every single trade that was taken in really the last 3 days were definitely a little bit of a setback for me. Now, you might be wondering, Jake, what's this gap that we have here? That was Thanksgiving week. I was at home with my parents. Since this was the first account that you had seen everything on, I decided not to trade that account during those days, right? I traded a couple of the other ones, which I'm about to show you in a second, but that's why the week is blank there, right? So again, on TradeZella, you are seeing 26,947. Here on Thinkorswim, on my broker statement, you are going to see 28,683. Now, the first question you might be asking is, Jake, why is there a discrepancy between those numbers? The discrepancy between those numbers is easy. That is my commissions and fees that I have paid year to date. If you were to subtract that $1,948.96 from my $28,000 of profit that Thinkorswim shows on the brokerage, right, you would be left with $26,947.73. So over the course of this month, on the primary account that you've been following along with from the beginning, I was able to make about $27,000. Right? Now, after the hiccup of TTWO, I also started that secondary account with a little bit more cash in it to give myself a little bit of a buffer, right? That account, let's go ahead and switch the TradeZella here. Let's go ahead and catch this, right? I'm going to select my TOS2 and deselect my TOS1. That account is closing the month up about $40,000, right? Now, if I go over and now have switched my real-time Thinkorswim account to show the same thing, what you'll notice is a total PNL of $42,000, right? Now again, just for the naysayers who are going to think that something is up, let's take that $42,111, subtract my commissions for the year at $2,726. That would leave us with, drum roll please, a total of $39,442.12. Right? Now, those are the two accounts that you followed from A to Z, minus like one trade, I think, was one that I wasn't able to get a film on this particular account, right? And in addition to that, I also traded one other account with a little bit more size, a little bit more aggressiveness. Those ones we didn't film every single entry or exit, but you did see the risk that I took over CPI in order to help give me some of that boost in profits. You saw the trade that I took on Netflix that really helped carry with like a 50K day, right? That account was the third Thinkorswim account that I had activated. You can see here, TOS3. That was the one that I was really able to capitalize on in a big way, right?
and make $108,000, right? So coming and seeing the TradeZella report here, this is the account that I traded the least, but was really able to sort of like capitalize on the most, right? Now, again, if of course, that's the TradeZella, the number 108910, right? Now, if I take you into Thinkorswim, what you're going to see is a PNL year to date of $110,000, right? Now, spoiler alert, gang. What we are going to do is take you into the commissions and confirm that from that $110,000 with $110,340 with the commissions of year to date, $1,487.24 leaves us finally with a total of $108,000 of profit, right? Now, those are the Thinkorswim accounts that I traded throughout the course of November. So let's select all three of them here. And that will leave us ultimately with these statistics, right? I have a total profit of $175,300.28. I had a profit factor of 3.19, which means that my winning trades were approximately 3.19 more than my losing trades. Right? I won about 50% of my trades, so I didn't actually win a ton of my trades. It's just that my winners were that much bigger than my losers, right? And that leaves me with a total TradeZella calendar here, right? Where if you were to add all of these up, these last 2 days really make me sad at how I performed. But if you were to add all of these up, you'd be left with a total $175,000. Now, this whole thing started out as a $5,000 account challenge. I quickly learned that even though I was able to take that to $18,000 quickly, small account challenges are hard and they put you in a bad mental state. So instead, what this video kind of turned into was me just documenting how I traded throughout the course of November. I started with the total deposits, I don't know, it was like 30K or something like that between it, and was able to come out on top $175,000. Does not really matter how much money you start with. All that matters is your risk to your reward. And that being said, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this series. I have a feeling we're going to continue on and start something a little bit new tomorrow. But as of now, I wanted to leave you with this $175,000 in 1 month. If I can do it, you can do it as well.